Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live here this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Looking forward to talking with you. And we'll wait for a few of our friends to come on as usual. Nick from our staff, imagine, number one this morning. Okay. And Suzanne, Brahim, how are you? From Portland, Oregon. Nativity, good morning. Jen, how you doing? And Daphne, how are you? Jermaine, good morning. And Stephanie, how are you? Len and Judy from Edmonton. Sue, good morning. Rose, how are you? Jen from Cape Breton. And Jeanette from our staff. Sandy, Washington State. Zian, good morning. Cary, Nebraska. And Dr. Troy's on with us this morning from Newfoundland. Good morning, my dear friend Troy. Lori, Donna, and Stephanie, another Donna. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Bright and earlier for sure. Maria and Madeleine. Madalena, that's nice. How are you? Teresa, June from Brooks, Alberta. Cheryl, West Virginia. Oh, I want to sing so bad. Lori and Ryan are on with us from Sarasota. Rhoda, beautiful Labrador. Mary, P-E-I. David, Grace, and Yolande, bonjour. Shirley, Gary and Shirley from Saskatchewan, nice to have you guys. Joanne and Elaine. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, 20, high 20s going. Yeah, the weather's nice. Ragia, how are you? And I think that was Judy and Jeanette, Joy. Couple more. Sue, how are you? Zian, Thunder Bay. And Georgette from Nouveau Brunswick. Maria, Dave, Muskoka. And Donna from Bell Valley. Jackie, nice to have you on. Couple more. Dale, hello. And Denise from Kansas City, Missouri. Lori. And Lindy from Medicine Hat, Alberta. Oh, you guys. And Wendy from Wasaga. She's back in Wasaga. 6 days on the road. Renee, Newfoundland. Delinda. Leslie, Rita. Nouveau Brunswick. Del. Guys. Kevin. Roxanne. Kevin, I gotta laugh. I don't know why I'm missing you, man. I don't know why. Marie and someone else said hello there, and Fran, you guys are great. Okay, now we're gonna talk about wired. Here's the headline: Wired for failure. Okay, wired for failure. Now listen to this study that came out of the Yale University. Came out of Yale. Here's what they said. Okay? Eating junk food, eating crappy carbohydrates. Listen to what it says. It rewires your brain so that you I'm just going to read the headline of the study. Eating crappy foods rewires your brain so that you subconsciously pick and continue to pick bad foods over good ones. Your brain gets rewired. Okay? And here's what they're saying. Dopamine is released, and And that effect can last for months, even after quitting. Okay? And they said, if you, listen to this, if you, and I'm not saying you, but the folks, if people, and think of the importance of this in young people, in just 8 weeks, they're hooked. They become addicts. Crappy foods. Now, this is out of Yale. This is so significant. And I've given you some background in this because in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, the tobacco industry, those guys who got caught with nicotine and they knew it, they hid all their research. Because for years they told everyone that smoking, no. You know, no, it's not addictive. I mean, it was crazy. But they hid the research, they got caught. You know what the tobacco industry did? They set their sights. They had lots of money. One of the biggest companies in the world, Marlboro cigarettes. They focused in on the food industry. And they started acquiring food, packaged food. And the people who were experts at addiction, guess what? They're still up to their old tricks. And man, oh man, they get repeat customers. And why is that? Because when you eat their crappy foods, okay, you get hooked. You get hooked. Your brain, imagine the brain being rewired because of the release of dopamine. And it doesn't take long. In 8 weeks, they got you. And it takes months and months to undo it. I mean, this is a significant study. And let me ask you a question. Have you heard of this study? Has it made mainstream media? Probably not. Probably not. And what they do, okay, these big food companies, remember, there's only about 8 or 10 big food companies left. You know what happens? They buy up everybody. So you have a conglomerate in big food. You know, from Coca-Cola to Pepsi-Cola to Kraft has been bought out. You know, Lever Brothers and Procter and Gamble. And anyway, these are companies that just buy up all the other companies, and they have their tentacles in the grocery stores. Just think of it. Go to a grocery store today, and apparently, I've never counted, but there's over 33,000 different items there. And there's no money, by the way, very little. If you go on the outside of the grocery store and into the produce section, okay, there's no money in there. I've read the reports. There's no profit there. Not that there's none, but there's very little. Where the profit is for these big companies is in the middle aisles of your grocery store, from the cookies to the crackers to the crappy dinner to you name it, in the middle aisles, and all those drinks. Okay, it's amazing to me when I go in a grocery store and look at all the drinks. Okay, from the juices to the It's unreal. The variety and the cereals. I mean, you go down the cereal aisle, like, it gives me a headache. There's so many, and you know what? There's nothing there, not one of them, that's good for you. It's meant to hook our kids, rewire their brains. Imagine. And look at the disaster that has been created. An absolute disaster that's been created. It's heart-wrenching. I read this study and I'm thinking, man, oh man, like it's just another drug. I mean, you might as well put the kids on cocaine. And everything in those middle aisles, just about everything, is got bad oils. And look at the shelf of oils in the grocery store. They got bad oils. There's very few good oils. Okay? And all of these goods are made with bad oils. They preserve the packaging. Never mind any extra preservatives, just making cookies and crackers, Kraft dinner, whatever they do. Vegetable oils, which are made for your car, not for you. They're great oils for your car. They're all synthetic. Never, ever a minute meant for human consumption. But they pass it off because why? It's low, Dr. Martin, in saturated fat. It doesn't have any saturated fat. Yeah, that's a problem. It's hydrogenated. It is terrible. High, and these kids, their brain gets rewired. And they're hooked. I feel sorry. I mean it. I feel sorry for the younger generation. I feel sorry for them. Because they're not being told. They don't know. And how many parents, they're on a budget. And they're being told, 24/7 that eggs, be careful, 1 or 2 a week, and meat, meat's bad for you. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for this. It's bad for your heart. It's bad, bad, bad. And cheese, that's dairy. Dairy's no good, right? So they get that in school. Parents buy it because dietitians pump it out, that narrative, that nonsense, and they built the food pyramid upside down. I know I'm excited this morning, and not in a good way. I'm actually a little bit peeved. I read this study yesterday, and there was steam coming out my ears for a couple of reasons. One, like I said, you're not going to hear about it, probably. This was a major study, and we wonder why we have so much disease today. Brains are being rewired. It's almost like science fiction. How could they get to us? They rewire the brain, and they know it. Oh, guys, I don't know what to say. I get so crazy. Okay? But guys, okay. What do we do? Like, what do we do? Well, we're just, John the Baptist crying in the wilderness. Okay? Repent. I mean, look. We're just, we're a small minority, but that's all right. Okay? We're going to take it one at a time. And we're going to try and convince people as much as we can to the influence that we can. I don't know what your circle is. I'm very thankful, by the way, for my circle. Why do you guys think I want to say hello to you all the time? Okay? I mean, I love my audience. And I've told you this, and I'll tell you again, how educated you guys are, how smart you are. Because you like asking questions and you want information. Information is power. Because now you can make choices. And I know we know better. We know better. But when you get a study come out like this, you just want to shake your head. I always talk to you about sugar, okay? Let me give you another study that came out on sugar. Hold on a minute, okay? And again, guys, I'm just going to tell you something about willpower. If a kid is hooked, if it doesn't have to be a kid, obviously. You know someone that's hooked, okay? Remember, they're now an addict. Okay, they're now an addict. And so have compassion on people. I have compassion on people. I don't knock people that are addicts. I am very sympathetic to them. They don't even realize it. That they've been hooked by the food industry. My word. Okay, listen, this came out of the British Medical Journal. Again, I read this yesterday, okay? I was traveling yesterday and on a plane, and I was getting all these, I got the studies ahead of time, and I was unpacking them while I was traveling and reading them and looking at stuff. And listen to this one from the British Medical Journal. Okay, this has to do with sugar. Now, I've taught you how to go through a grocery store and read labels. Read labels. Okay? Read labels. And always look for added sugar. Okay? Always look for it. And believe you me, when it's added sugar, it's high fructose corn syrup just about invariably. Why? Because it's cheap and sugar, okay? Because I've always told you this. Sugar is very addictive. Okay? They've shown it. I remember, I don't know, you could probably maybe see it on YouTube. But I remember looking at a study that they actually, you could visualize it because it was... this is years ago. This is 25 years ago, at least, that I saw this video. One of my colleagues was, telling me about a university study using, laboratory rats or whatever. And they put them through a maze. And, then they give them a little bit. They had a sugar cube hanging. And the rat would just gnaw on the sugar a little wee bit. And then they take the rat, put him, they put him, at the back of the start of the maze again. And it didn't matter how complicated you made it. That rat was hooked on the first bite. And it would do anything. And then they would, I don't want to get too gross, but they would actually zap it. Give it an electric shock if it came near that sugar. It didn't matter. The rat was going back to the sugar. It didn't matter what you did. It didn't matter what obstacles you put in its way. It was back to the sugar. It was hooked. And I remember the professor talking about the human brain and saying, you know what? Sugar, high fructose corn syrup is so addictive. It takes a root in the brain just like cocaine does. And the British Medical Journal says, here's the British Medical Journal, consuming over 6 teaspoons of sugar a day is linked. Here's the British Medical Journal, not me, okay? It's linked. 6 things they link it to. 6. Now, the average person is getting probably 20, 30 teaspoons a day of sugar. Up to 200 pounds a year. They don't read labels. They don't realize it. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's a granola bar. It's granola. You know how much sugar's in there? And the poor seniors, Dr. Martin, I'm drinking Ensure. I said, that's ensuring that you're going to die. I'm drinking Boost. Well, that's going to boost your chances of dying. Read the label. You know how much sugar's in there? And then, of course, they make it with these crazy vegetable oils. Now you get a double whammy. But anyway, okay? Anyway, here's what the British Medical Journal, in a most recent study, says. Consuming over 6 teaspoons of sugar a day, you got to add it up. Some people put that in their coffee. Yikes. It's linked to stroke, heart attack, depression, stroke and heart attack, depression, asthma, interesting, isn't it? Gout, oh, we knew that. Weight gain, obviously, and cancer. Well, holy smokes. Cancer? You're admitting it? What? Yeah, cancer's looking for fuel, and it's a renegade cell that loves glucose. And imagine guys, like I know, and I'm just going to be a little political just for a minute, okay? Because it bugs me, okay? It bugs me. Here we are, Canada and the United States. We've gone crazy, in my opinion, okay? Sorry, guys, on the climate, okay? Climate change. And, but nobody is talking about the disaster. There will not be enough tea in China to pay for the disaster that's already hit us with hooking people on food, hooking them. And sugar, the disaster, the cost. You know what it costs for our society when people get diabetes? I mean, there's not enough money. We don't have a health care system. We have a disease care system. And we have a pharmaceutical industry that knows nothing about food and doesn't care. And we have a food industry that doesn't care about your health. Imagine that. And here we are today in 2023, and they're worried about electric cars, and I'm worried about your health. Because to me, that is a disaster that's already occurring, and just wait, my friend, to what we see. From heart disease, which we're not winning. How could we win the war on heart disease when we're looking for love in all the wrong places? It's not cholesterol. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not cholesterol. It's sugar. It's crappy carbohydrates. Ooh. No, but I mean it. It bugs me to no end. It just, people, I want to grab politicians and slap them. Because they're beholden, bought and paid for by the drug companies and by big food. They're bought and paid for. I just can't stand it. The elephant in the room, even during the virus, I was screaming, it only affects people with pre-existing conditions. And it's food. Here we are, they're hooking kids. They got them hooked, and then they double hook them because of the sugar that they add. That the food rewires their brain, and just 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. You go over that, and it's linked to cancer, weight gain, gout, asthma, depression, and heart and stroke. And they didn't even talk about Alzheimer's, which is type 3 diabetes. Do you hear the wood inside that head there? Oh, guys. I get frustrated to no end when I read these studies. And let me just finish what they said in the British Medical Journal. I mean it, guys. I just about passed out. They're linking sugar to these diseases that I just mentioned and obesity. Yeah. But they said this, there's 2 major effects with sugar. This is sugar. They're not even talking about crappy carbohydrates. The British Medical Journal wasn't talking about these vegetable oils that create a cascade of inflammation in the body. Because your body, it doesn't know what it is. Like when you put something in your body that your body cannot break down, okay? Your body sees it as a foreign object. Like, guys, I was watching this on a video last night, okay? And you can maybe Google it, I don't know, okay? Because it just came in my feed, so I watched it. And they had a dog, okay? This is true. They had a dog, and it was a talk show, and a TV talk show, and they had the owner of the dog on, and the owner was telling the host just how her dog was a vegetarian dog. It never ate meat. And she had trained it. And the dog looked healthy. And she said, it is so healthy. And then The host said, well, we got 2 bowls here. We got vegetables and we got meat. And she said, I know for a fact that my dog will choose the vegetables. Guess what happened? It was amazing. The dog is smarter than we are. Because soon as it saw the meat, it went right to the meat. And then it would look over. It was funny. You can try and see if you can find it, okay? Because it's actually hilarious to watch. And the dog kept looking over at the vegetables and going, yuck, that's what my owner feeds me. Doesn't she know I'm meant to eat meat? Oh. Here's what 6 teaspoons, and this is in the British Medical Journal. 2 things happen. You get over 6 teaspoons, and 9. I'm going to say this: about 99.9% of the population are way over 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. Okay, 99.9. And 2 major effects according to the British Medical Journal. One is insulin resistance. Hello, I talk to you about that every day. Insulin resistance. Why? Because when you eat sugar, you eat crappy carbs, you need a lot of insulin. And no matter what, insulin's got a job to do. So if your cells don't like insulin, too bad, so sad. They'll keep coming. Insulin will be produced to your pancreas, can't produce it anymore. It's called insulin resistance, and it's at the root of one of the big problems in the world today. Huge. Huge. 2, they said it. So one of them, you get insulin resistance, and the other one is called glycation. AGE, okay, all capitals, apostrophe, small s. Advanced, glycated, end products. Leave it to medicine to give it a bad name, or complicated. But you know what glycation is? Aging. Hardening. It'll do it from your muscles to your skin, to your heart, to everything. It will glycate everything. And that's what sugar does to a person. Imagine that. Over 6 teaspoons a day, you're in big doo-doo, even according to the British Medical Journal. Well, hallelujah. They're finally saying it. Okay. Now, if I had a watch on, it would be telling me to breathe. I don't wear that kind of watch. I can't stand it. Take a deep breath, Doc. Breathe. Ooh, you see, guys, why I do what I do? Why do I do what I do? You know what? Because I'm passionate to bring you the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Guys, we love you. You know what tomorrow is? Question and Answer Friday. So guess what? Get your questions in. Okay? Oh, I thank God every day for you guys. Okay? I do. You have no idea. Okay? We love you dearly. Okay? Okay. I'm breathing. I just had a workout. Okay. Guys, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.